Hey everyone, today I want to talk about how to say no to somebody without being rude. First of all, starting by expressing appreciation for their request or their opportunity and being polite and courteous goes a long way. I would much prefer if I asked somebody to do something that they just honestly told me, no, I can't do that, or no, that just isn't something that I'm believing in or for personal reasons. I would rather somebody directly tell me as opposed to just ghosting me on text or not answering my phone calls or not talking to me about it, because then there's all this guesswork. Are they just not getting my messages? Are they busy right now? Because I don't want to keep bothering them if they're busy. But at the same time, it puts you in this I don't know zone, and it just takes a lot of work on the recipients, the person that's asking for the favor or the question or whatever. It takes a lot of work to try to guess what somebody else is trying to say or what they're thinking. And quite literally, it drives me crazy because I believe in honest communication, and not everybody has those skills. So I'm going to teach you how to say no to somebody without being rude or offensive. And you can always express your gratitude. Oh, I always like to support you, but I just can't do that right now because I have A, B, and C on my plate. But in the future, let me know. And if I'm available, I would love to help you. Or perhaps you can even offer a solution as opposed to just saying no. You can say, I can't do this, but I know somebody who might be able to help you. That goes a long way because you're not just shutting them down and leaving them out cold, but you are offering a solution. That usually is a situation that goes over very well. Also, using a softening phrase like, "Well, I wish I could," or "I would love to," that is a much stronger way. Offer an alternative, like I kind of hinted before. I can't make it to the event on Friday, but I can help you on Saturday, or I can't drive you to the bank right now, but I can drive you at, let's say, 3 o'clock after my meeting. So, offering some kind of alternative solutions can also be setting boundaries, but you're also helping the person at the same time, because we have kind of become a selfish nation and everybody's just out for themselves sometimes, or at least it feels that way. There's also kind of almost a pandemic of not being able to say no to people. That's something that's equally important to do, because drawing boundaries and saying no is part of caring about yourself and not pushing yourself so thin that you're exhausted. Nobody's going to take care of you like you in a healthy way. I'm not talking about in a selfish way, because serving other people is an extremely important factor to community for our own self-esteem and feeling good about ourselves. Giving to other people and serving is what life is all about. It's a two-way street. You shouldn't give to get back, but at the same time, if you're giving and giving and giving, it's helpful to learn how to say no, or I can't do that. I'd like to be able to help you, but I just have a lot on my plate right now. Being honest and brief, you don't actually even need to give long excuses or big excuses, but you can just say, no, I just can't do that today. That's okay to do that too. If you don't want to give excuses, because sometimes people will find solutions or arguments to counter what you're saying. And that's valid because they're trying to do a win win situation. Maybe let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Some people are manipulative. Some people honestly are just not even aware of it, and they're trying to offer an alternative win-win type of solution. Anyway, be honest and brief. If you don't feel the need to tell somebody you just don't want to do it, or you just don't want to do it because you need a break from that person, I don't recommend saying that, but that's where it comes into, I'm sorry, I just can't help you, but I hope you find somebody. You can be kind about it. That's the key, is being kind and considerate and courteous when you do say no, so that you're not abrupt and rude. That's very helpful. You can also use I statements. I'm a big one on I statements. You can say, I feel frustrated, or I can't do this right now. It's just too much for me. Again, if you want to give a reason, I have this and this and this going on, or you can just say, I just really don't feel like I can handle that, or I'm not in a place where I can talk about that right now. All those are okay. But as soon as you start saying you statements, you don't appreciate me, or you always ask me for favors. You always ask me on Friday at 3 o'clock when you know I have a meeting. That doesn't go well. That is a breeding ground for confrontation. So I would definitely use the I statements as opposed to you statements. Also, setting boundaries, and we've kind of touched on that, but assert your boundaries. I can only stay at the party for an hour tonight. I have a person in my life who likes to talk exponentially, like talk, 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 and they don't feed off of somebody else's cues. If it's in person, it appears to be just about them, and they're just kind of clueless and not tapped into maybe that the other person needs to get away or wants to get away. And on the phone, especially because they can't see what little cues that they might process, they don't have those. I've actually told people, let's just talk about this for another minute. And then I wanted to shift this to a topic I've been dying to tell you, or let's just talk about this for another minute, but I need to go because I have to start making dinner, or just simply, let's just switch this topic after about a minute. If we can sum it up, that would be very helpful for me. You don't have to get into excuses, but also being kind with people. And this happened to me about a month ago. I kept saying stuff like that to the person, and it was just draining my energy. I felt like I was just getting sucked in, or I was on this merry-go-round. We were just going in circles, and she didn't want solutions. She didn't want empathy. She just wanted to do this diarrhea vomit all over me, and it was exhausting me. And actually, I paid for that for about a week. I'm an empath, if you know what that is. I can feel other people's energy, and I can highly sense what people are feeling or thinking. I can go into the room and catch like the vibe of the room. A lot of people say that's a gift and a blessing, and I'm sure that it is. But in these situations, it doesn't feel like a blessing. It feels like a curse because it's hard to get off the phone with them. I don't want to be rude, and yet it's draining me. So I tend to try to suck it up, and I sacrifice myself so they can keep talking. But I am learning. I need to go now. I You can have some catchphrases if this person keeps doing this to you, so that you can get off the phone easier. Also, you might have to assess, do you really want this person in your life? How often are you going to talk to them? Maybe set a time upfront. Hey, I have 20 minutes and let's talk, but definitely set some kind of boundaries here, because it's not okay for your energy to be drained for an entire week. And while this person feels better, it's like an energy vampire where they just lap onto you and suck you dry of your energy so they can feel better. That's not okay. Practicing empathy too. I tried this with this person and it did not work, because the more empathy I gave her, the more she just kept going and talking over me like I wasn't even there. And, empathy goes a long way if you have a person who is aware and they kind of catch what you're saying, and they can go along with it, and they understand, oh, okay, she's trying to get off the phone. But it just depends on what kind of person that you're dealing with. It's okay for you to say no, even though you understand and you empathize with them. I had a situation where I needed help with my horse. I could not do him alone because he had stomped on my ankle and he was kicking out. He needed his foot treated. I could do three of them, but after he hurt me, I was afraid to do his last hoof. I had a friend come and she helped me. I was always so extremely grateful and always thanked her. But then one day she just ghosted me. She basically said, I have other plans for today, tomorrow, and the next day. And then I didn't hear from her. So I felt like she left me high and dry with nobody to help me, no warning, no communication, no, hey, this is just getting to be too much. I'm going to have to back out. If you could find somebody for tomorrow night, that would be great. She didn't do any of that. She just yanked the rug out from underneath me. I had nobody to help me. And I did not confront her with that because I didn't feel like this particular situation that it would be a two-way conversation. And I'm still working through this just like all of you are. However, I haven't let go of it because I know I feel that way and I try to have empathy. I'm sure I even text her, I'm sure this was exhausting and I know this is a lot and I appreciate you helping me. I even had given her a card pretty much saying the same thing. She still did not communicate and she still just disappeared. However, I did my part and I communicated directly. I tried to view it from her point of view, like maybe she thought I was sucking her dry, but I wasn't trying to because I truly needed help and I was always extremely appreciative. You just kind of got to play this with the people that you're dealing with and remember, there's always two sides of the same story, and people can view it differently. But if there's open communication, it really helps, and it can help save your friendship because nobody can read your mind. Nobody can read anybody's mind. And if it's too much, you need to say, no, I just can't do that. I know it's hard and it's easier said than done, but practice on people that aren't in your close circle maybe first. Sometimes it's actually easier for me to say no to the people I'm closer to, and it's harder for me to say no to the people I don't know real well, which seems backwards. But whatever is an easier way for you to practice, start practicing about small stuff on people that or situations that don't matter as much. And then eventually start practicing on harder and more difficult situations, the people that you find the hardest to communicate with. But they say practice makes perfect. We don't have to be perfect here on this channel, and none of us are. We don't even want to try to be perfect because that's a whole nother video. However, communication goes a long way and it starts with you. You can't control how the other person communicates back, but you can control your response. You can control what you say to them and how you say it to them. So remember, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say valid reasons. It's okay to say no reasons at all other than a kind, I can't help you tonight. I'm sorry. All those things are okay, but always remember, be courteous, be kind, and communicate well. Communicate with softness. So I hope this helps. If it does, please like and subscribe and comment and make suggestions or tell me, how did this help you? I know this is out there for somebody because I just felt like this was a topic I needed to discuss. I haven't had any of these situations in my life recently, but I did want to address this because I have had situations like this and I wish that I had had a video to kind of help me through it. So, anyway, until next time.